Buti isang ano ka lang, Marty. Oh, ano ba yung chat?
Kasi I'm so happy talaga na naging pregnant ako. But ang dami kasi
Yeah, follow. Thank you.
I'm Stephanie Zubiri. I'm your host today. I come from Soulful Voice, right? We need to have a voice. I think many of us suffer in silence. Many of us have a lot of issues that we can't share even with our closest friends, even with our husbands and partners, no? And then we just keep it inside. So before we begin our program, I just wanted to thank, of course, Beacon.
Crucial part of this is the passage of the Mental Health Act in 2018 to improve mental health services for our kababayan. This landmark law finally provided a government framework on mental
Innerwear for different life stages. So from puberty to menopause and beyond. And now we're here supporting.
I am our country's so far first and only diastasis recti rehab specialist.
So allow me to also thank you for being here by Beacon, and it's your expert-led mom support. So when you join to a self-paced course, that's Ina. She's our head psychologist, and she bases the cost of pag masama gising natin, lagot kawawa ang kids, diba? So we know this. It's
And Inibiring Pilipinas Intercontinental 2017. And we have parenting. We have Chan Sai, Mother of Spirit. I'm your host, Stephanie Zubiri, and I'm here today for a special live podcast session. Can we please have a round of applause for Karen?
First, they call baby blues, right? So with baby blues, you feel you feel emotional, you feel sad sometimes, you feel irritable, you feel tired, and that's quite normal after giving birth. Then after a few months, some experience postpartum depression, which is quite different from baby blues. Postpartum depression, you feel an intense kind of grief and sadness
Inside, and they come out in other ways later on. Where are you now in your journey as a
Well, I think when you say it comes out in other ways, I think that with me, I was short-tempered, I was irritable, I had a very short fuse at home, and I think it's also dangerous for your family, right? So I think looking back, that's sort of what happened to me.
Today, as a mother, where are you in your journey now? And as a woman, because can I make a note for us and for the audience, no? Parang men don't necessarily equal parenting. Just because you're the breadwinner. But sometimes, work is more important. You should be able to call your partner or your spouse and say, ikaw naman, pumunta sa principal. Ikaw naman, diba? We have to speak up also for them.
beautiful white dress. I was wearing nipple tape, but there's a lot of side boob, and the video of my red carpet, it went viral. And I was like, oh wow, this is a surprise. I'm glad everyone liked the outfit. But when I read the comments, I was shocked because there were a lot of bashers, and I thought these were going to be coming from the pageant fans, because pageant fans are brutal, right? No, when I was clicking to check, sino ba yung mga tao nito? They were moms. And the comments I was getting was, nagpapadede ako sa mga anak ko 4 na taon, hindi ganun kalawlaw yung dede ko. And I'm like, oh, I was so confused, and I never really ran on my social media, but I did share that, specific, that whole situation. In fact, it was the pageant fans who were defending me. And I was just really shocked. I couldn't understand why are all of these moms commenting such harsh things as fellow mothers. And luckily when I shared it, I got feedback from other moms who were telling me, you triggered them. And I had to sit for 3 days to try and process how, what did I do? I just attended an event, you know, I didn't even post that videos. It was Binibini who posted it. I really couldn't wrap my mind around it till these moms had to explain to me, like, you triggered something. And I realized that everybody has their own journey.
Yes.
And they're going
I always say that KKJ, kanya-kanyang journey, because like we spoke earlier, advocacy of Beacon, because it really advocates for taking care of yourself first. I want to shift the conversation a little bit to the martyr syndrome that we have in the Philippines. Parang a woman's most valuable when she's a martyr for her family. I would like to say I don't believe in that. Carl Jung said that there's no greater burden on a child than the unlived life of a parent, because then you just obsessed over your child, and then when they leave you, then break down. So you have to be a whole happy person to be a good mother, a good parent, and a good person. You owe it to yourself. Have you guys had that? It's so wonderful that you allow yourself to have that. And I also sought professional help. Kasi, yun, let's not be ashamed to ask for professional help, because they know what to ask you, and they know how to, you know, talk to you. And they're a personal cheerleader. That's how I see it. Walang parang vested interest, no? Because if it's your parent or my mom na, go back together with him, like, oh my God, like, diba? Like they have people that are.
I do think that we all have our own journey and try all the things. Whatever's gonna help you, if it's a monk, a Korean doctor, a therapist, a tree, like just go, do it, do the thing. I still go through a lot. I know I project as a strong person, and I know I'm expected to be strong because I have always been that way, but I have so much anxiety. If you see me talking about stuff non-stop, it's probably the anxiety. Thank God none of you guys are my doctor because he doesn't hear the end of it. But I do think talking about it with a professional is the best thing to do. I need to do that. And there's just so much. I thought it was over the situation I shared. Apparently not, because talking about it today, you know, a lot came out. So I think a professional is what I need, what we all need. Yeah.
Also self-love, honey.
Yeah,
You are
self-love.
allowed to be crazy because we are beautiful, wild women who have emotions and feelings. And well, who said we had to be robots, right? We're not robots, so it's okay. We can cry, we can be angry, we can go crazy. It's fine. It's okay.
Yes, for me, it's important that you seek help. So, and then do not be afraid to share your story. And also, do the things that you love to do. So, prioritize yourself. Kasi, like ako, I enjoy content creation a lot. And then, I enjoy, you know, creating content for my family. So, bonus na lang din na sometimes I get, you know, paid for that. Pero yun lang, you seek help. That's my...
These are such powerful stories. So I think I'll say something a little more practical. Okay? Not everybody has the time for an ice bath. Not everybody can afford to go to expensive healers. And I'm going to be practical here. It takes a village to raise a child. Right? That's an African proverb. And I'll be honest with you, we are lucky in this country that we have help. Imagine in other countries, they cannot afford a yaya. That's one. That's number one. Our grandmothers, my mother helped me in raising my children. There is nothing wrong with that. Try that. When we say seek help, First, admit that you need help. Number one, not just mentally, but with the work you need to do. That's number one. Number two, there's a saying, pain is not a bad thing. It is not. It is what develops you to become a stronger woman. Survival requires grit. Grit can only be developed when you are going through hard times. It is how gold is formed. When you're a mother, one part of your leg is already in the grave. You know that, right? And why don't men experience that? Because they're not giving birth. Two. Number three, and I'll be honest about this, seeking professional help is the right thing to do, but exploring and prioritizing on a spiritual life is what really matters. Whatever your faith may be, you have to admit that you need someone stronger than yourself. Number four, I do agree with what Steph said, to speak up and tell our partners, it's your time to go to the principal, it's your time for this. But what about single parents, right? What do you do? Medyo this is a bit extreme on my end, so I don't have to be the role model in this room. There's a saying I love that goes like this, which is very antithesis of what young kids or the Gen Zs do today. This is an old Buddhist saying. Don't think less of yourself, but think about yourself less. So I'll end it there.
The value of speaking up is two-pronged. The first is it allows you to express yourself. And second, in that expression, you're actually also helping others. So with your story, Kat, with your story, Chan, Karen, Steph, we are all helping other moms without us knowing, diba? Our intention is to really just, I want to say something. But in the process of doing that, we are connecting with others who are in a similar situation as ours. So, and in our society, sometimes speaking up or being outspoken is frowned upon. I've known that for years, being an outspoken person myself. But I highly encourage you to just try and express how you really feel and embrace your emotions, however difficult they may be. And again, it will help not just yourself, but also the people around you. Thank you so much.
A lot of people in my workshops, the people I work with, take up space. Don't make yourself small. Because just by existing, we think that we have to be productive to take up space. No, just by existing, you are valuable. And by taking up space energetically, you shift the energy around you. It means you deserve more, you ask for better, and you can do more. Because you are abundant, and you are expansive, and the only thing limiting you is yourself and the narrative you tell yourself. So even just for today, which is how I always end my podcast, the one thing you guys can do for yourself today is to take up space, even if it's just for 5 minutes, and say, this is my time for me in this universe. I am going to have a coffee. I'm going to speak up. I am going to take up space for myself. It's a declaration to the universe that you are valuable and you deserve to take up space. So thank you again for watching this wonderful
Child loss. Okay? So one thing I wanted to bring to the table today is the topic of baby loss, because this is something that it's actually one of our CSR initiatives at the Asian Parent called Project Cycles. We launched this back in 2020, and it's our way of raising awareness about stillbirth and the impact that we can have in terms of providing support to the...
State your name.
Hi, Madam Vice. do hereby solemnly pledge
to do all that is within my power and capacity
to do all that is within my power and capacity
to advocate for maternal mental health.
to advocate for maternal mental health.
I pledge to understand the plight of mothers
I pledge to understand the plight of mothers
and to help ease their burden
and to help ease their burden
by offering emotional and practical support.
by offering emotional and practical support.
I pledge to speak up for mothers
I pledge to speak up for mothers
and work towards systemic changes
and work towards systemic changes
for gender equity.
for gender equity.
Lastly, I will advocate for better care,
Lastly, I will advocate for better care,
supporting efforts to improve access to mental health resources for mothers,
supporting efforts to improve access to mental health resources for mothers,
ensuring that no mom feels alone.
ensuring that no moms feel alone.
Thank you so much, Ross. I was just telling Kate that it was such a pleasure to be a part of this event because it's such an engaged community. You guys are so engaged and wonderful to talk to. So thank you so much for being here today. Kate, can we have you here? Thank you for being Moms Speak Up. This event will featured and co-presented also by us, Soulful Feast. And don't forget, guys, follow Beacon, join the Lighthouse community. You can also follow me on Instagram at Stephanie's Beard and at Soulful Feast.